If Social Security had to cut benefits by 20% in the next decade, what would that do to your retirement plan? Today, Washington says everything is on the table, from raising the full retirement age to charging higher payroll taxes. In the next 7 minutes, I'll show you what's really at stake and what smart savers can do right now. 1. The state of Social Security. Social Security pays benefits to more than 70 million Americans. According to the latest trustees report, the main old age and survivors insurance trust fund is projected to be depleted around 2033. If Congress does nothing, ongoing payroll taxes would still cover roughly 77 to 81% of scheduled benefits, meaning an automatic across-the-board cut. Why is the math getting tougher? Demographics. The U.S. has more retirees and fewer workers per retiree than in the past. People live longer, birth rates are lower, and the system was designed when the worker-to-retiree ratio was much higher. The program isn't bankrupt, but its dedicated tax base can't fully support promised benefits without changes. 2. The levers on the table. There are 4 big levers lawmakers keep testing. 1. Raise the full retirement age, FRA. For people born in 1960 or later, the FRA is already 67. Pushing it higher, to 68 or even 69.70 over time, does not magically add money to your check. It's effectively a benefit cut. As a rule of thumb, every 1-year increase in FRA trims the monthly benefit for future retirees by about 7%. Claiming at 62 would be hit even harder because the early claiming reduction would stretch over more months. 2. Raise the taxable wage cap. In 2026, earnings up to $184,500 are subject to the 6.2% employee and 6.2% employer OASDI tax. Lifting that cap, or applying a surtax above a higher threshold, brings in more revenue without changing the minimum or maximum claiming ages. 3. Raise the payroll tax rate. The combined 12.4% could be nudged higher. Even a 1 percentage point increase raises a lot of money over 75 years, but it's politically sensitive because it hits workers and employers directly. 4. Change the benefit formula and COLA. Policymakers can adjust the bend points, slow the growth of benefits for higher earners, or tweak the cost of living adjustment formula. These technical changes often fly under the radar but move long-term finances meaningfully. In practice, any serious fix probably blends several levers: a modest cap increase, a phased-in FRA tweak, and a formula or COLA adjustment. 3. Who wins, who loses if FRA rises? Raising the FRA tends to hit future retirees, not current ones. But the impact isn't evenly shared. Higher-income Americans often live longer and can work later. Workers in physically demanding jobs or those with shorter life expectancies bear a heavier burden. Quick example: suppose your full benefit at 67 would be $2,000 a month. If the FRA moved to 68 and you still claimed at 67, your check would be roughly 7% lower, about $1,860, because you'd be claiming a year early relative to the new FRA. If you claimed at 62, the reduction would be even steeper because the early claiming penalty applies for more months. On the flip side, delaying past FRA still earns delayed retirement credits up to age 70, boosting your monthly check. That can partially offset policy changes for those who can keep working. 4. What's actually happening now? Recent headlines highlight 2 realities at once. First, Officials keep warning that everything must be considered to address insolvency risk. Second, the current full retirement age of 67 remains in place, and key parameters keep inching up as scheduled, like the taxable wage base. Meanwhile, annual COLA adjustments continue based on inflation, and earnings test thresholds update each year. None of this solves the structural gap by itself, but it shows the system is still operating and adjusting around the edges while Congress debates bigger reforms. 5. Your playbook if cuts or an FRA hike happen. Here's how to future-proof your retirement. Stress test your plan at 75–80% of scheduled benefits. Build a version of your budget where Social Security pays 20% less starting around 2033–2034. Does your plan still work? If not, adjust now, before markets force your hand. Optimize your claiming age. If your health, job, and finances allow, consider claiming closer to 67–70. Each year you delay past FRA can lift your monthly check by up to 8% via delayed credits. Diversify your income stack. Combine Social Security with tax-advantaged accounts, 401k, Roth IRA, a T-bill ladder for near-term cash needs, a diversified ETF core for growth, and, if appropriate, some guaranteed income. The goal is to avoid selling risk assets at the bottom just to fund living expenses. Monitor the rules of the game. Each fall, check the new taxable wage base, the COLA announcement, and any changes to benefit formulas or earnings tests. Adjust contributions and retirement date as needed. Plan for longevity and inequality. If your family history suggests a long lifespan, delaying benefits often pays. If health limits work years, prioritize building liquid reserves and consider part-time or phased retirement options. If this helped you see the trade-offs more clearly, hit subscribe and like. Here at Finance Lab, we break down money, investing, and taxes so you can make smarter decisions, especially when the rules keep changing. See you in the next video.